Good morning to what in effect is 8 o'clock in the morning on the day of the pour. So my man Sherman's not going to be till 9 o'clock, which is ideal. But we're laying out already and the guys are actually here. They've been here for about 20 minutes, fair play to them. I did actually speak to the supplier and ask them to come out yesterday just so that we could set out and also prepare where the pump was going. But unfortunately he said just leave it to the day. But obviously the guys have arrived and they weren't a part of that communication. So anyway, they've started off a little bit on the back foot because down here obviously is overgrown. So like I said to you, we really need to get down there and chop out some of these hedges all the way down so they can actually get to here and come over straight forward. So they've had to do a bit of pruning, unfortunately, which is not what they're employed to do. But I did actually contact them, sort of say let's have a Monday meet, prep up for it, make sure that we're set out in the basement itself as to what we're going to pour, and then at the same time obviously get the pumps down the side. First man. So Lewis Pumping. Lewis Pumping is one of the guys that quoted for the job, in all fairness. And it's like if I'd known that obviously the guy quoting for the job direct was actually going to get subcontracted out for the rest of the work, then sometimes you would go with them without a supplier. You always assume, you always assume that the people tendering for the work are actually going to provide their own concrete, their own materials, their own pumps, etc. But it is a small island after all, and everyone gets busy, so sometimes your equipment's rented out, so you have no choice but to subcontract. Anyway, so before I start, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Do me a favour and obviously hit that tell me more about the channel and feed me more information subscribe button. Thumbs up if you like what's going on, thumbs down if you don't. But more importantly, obviously give me some comments, that would be greatly appreciated. So a lot of people have been asking me to document today just so you can see what goes on. So I'm going to go down and show you where the truck is. I've actually decided to keep the truck on the road. Trucks coming onto the property, especially when the property's finished, they're quite messy because obviously they have to load from a concrete lorry, they have to load the pump machine then pumps through the lines, and obviously concrete goes all over the floor. So I'm going to get some hoses out there as well, because after they finish you need to hose down the concrete that obviously naturally spills onto the road. Otherwise, that's the reason why around Barbados you see so many concrete patches outside people's houses. They've had a concrete pour of some sort, normally a pump, or loading into pine carts as they call them, or wheelbarrows if you're English, and then they're wheeled in. So obviously it just spills on the road and then it stays, and it dries quite quick, so you need to try and get it hosed down as often as you can. So I'll get my guy on that today. And then obviously we're coming over the wall, which means we need to try and protect the grass and the plants, etc., as best we can. The pump is connected so it shouldn't spill, but it will mark. I mean, really we should have something on top of the wall because it's going to be bloody heavy and it's going to be going left and right, and so really should have something a bit more robust on top of there, really. So I might try and get a couple of boards, maybe put some boards over it. And obviously, so I'll take you down as well and show you what we've actually done yesterday. So we're nearly ready. Okay, so I've started off by putting a weed sheet down and then this sort of thin DPM sheet as well, which is about 100 foot. Again, steps, try and obviously protect the steps themselves. Managed to get the other roll of 6mm, so that's now down as well. I'll speak to the guys as to whether they want to cut out these holes in order for the concrete to get down in the holes themselves. But the whole sheet is down. Typically I had to buy another 100 foot obviously, but I had no choice. But we've got plenty anyway, so what I will do is also I'll pull this over about, not too much actually. I think it's perfect as it is. So just need to talk to them about what we're going to do about the holes, or are we going to cut this out to allow, as I say, the concrete to go down into the holes themselves. This conduit, we've got to keep an eye on that. Obviously this is going to be weighted down, which is good, but we need to make sure that's as close down like that as possible so we don't actually see it hanging out the concrete. Laser line, I'm going to get that fired up for them so they can actually see. As you can see, this is where they're aiming to pour straight away. This is our deepest patch. We got 5.5 inches all the way around, like I said in the videos yesterday. This is going to be their challenge down here. Are we going to land up ramping this down? And we've got to make sure we cover those conduits. So let's get that put in there because I need that. So, radios and stuff like that can go as well. I'm not going to need any of those. So yeah, they're pretty much ready. I say ready. They're connecting up. So that the concrete will be being mixed off the island somewhere. Up the island somewhere. Not too sure where. I'm not sure where Rayside get their concrete from. I'm sure they do it themselves. That's one thing you need to consider when you're buying concrete on the island. The suppliers are all over the island. You want to get the supplier that's got the best reputation but is closest to you. Otherwise, one, it takes a while to travel. Within 45 minutes, it's already starting to cure. So this is the pump itself. So this is the pump. So this machine itself connects up to all the actual hoses. As you can see, the guys are going down there. And this machine itself, the lorry will reverse up and load into this machine, which will sort and then suck into the machine, back out again down that way. So we're going all the way down and then straight over the actual wall where possible. So, and obviously this is what you get charged for, the lines. So the more lines you have, the more money it costs. Sorry about the wind. So yeah, we'll try and aim to get down here, all the way down the very end, then we'll come over the wall. So I think I need to put a board over there. Like I said, I think I need to get one of these flimsy 1-inch boards here, get that put right across. I need to do that now before they start putting the actual machine over. Then at least then it's got something to lean on. It will stay protecting the wall, because otherwise what will happen is the cap will, as you can see, I've already got lines across the cap anyway, the cap will start becoming more wobbly. You get hairline cracks, then the moisture will get in and it will blow. So let's take one of these over, get that under the sheet. So I'll get that done now and I'll get back on as and when we're connected up. Okay, 9:10. We're pretty much done. I say done. We're set out waiting for the first lot of concrete. So I'm going to quick go around and do a quick recce. Just to make sure we are ready for the pour. Downstairs I've lasered out with the mason. Just to let you know, every time there's a team provided, there has to be a mason. So the mason itself is one's responsible to set up the lines, make sure that the floating's going okay, and then obviously it's power floating after that job. So levels are really important on this job, as you know, as they all are. But obviously this one's got to be dead straight all the way through and then down towards the doorway. Like I said, it's got to taper down towards the doorway. So we just put a couple of steels in the floor, which are quite loose. Put a tape around them so we can see that the level's there, but then obviously then they're going to have to be, once their level's done, they'll be taken out. So let me fire downstairs quickly and show you how it's all set up so far. And then you can get a bit of a flavour of how the mayhem's going to happen when it fires up. Okay, so as you can see, rubber into steel. And then obviously we've got the vibration rating waiting. Claws, there's one of the steels with a tape around it, that's the 5.5. And there's some masonry nails now fired sporadically around, just to give us an indication as and when it pours and the lines are absorbed by the concrete, then we can see where that is going. All of these are being sliced so that they can all actually go down into the holes themselves. That's all good. Another steel here. So we'll start in this corner here and work our way around, I would have thought. So this edge, this back edge, is the highest side of all. As you can see by the lines, 5.5 inches, literally it's 5.5 here. And then obviously marked out around the columns as well, because that's got to be dead straight, and obviously around the slabs absorbing what effect looks like a couple of inches. 2.25 on that one, probably 1.5 inches on that one. Could do with getting a little bit more coverage on there really, but there's nothing you can do about that. This is the main concern area, because obviously, like I said, it tapers down. We've probably got about 3.5 inches in here, and we've got to absorb that conduit. So we'll see how that pans out. I mean, worst case scenario, we can go a little bit higher here and just try and blend it out all the way down to this side. And then obviously around about this area, we're gonna have to start working a way of dropping by 1 inch at least towards the actual doorway, with view to then towards the very end coming down by at least another 1/2 inch to 1 inch as well to get to this mark. Let me know in the comments below whether you would actually go level with this to keep it at 4.5, or whether you would drop it down like a little step like I've got there. In an ideal world, you should really have the step obviously, but we are dropping from 5.5 inches in effect down to about 3.5, 3.75 if we do that. Anyway, let me know what you think. Anyway, all set up, cradles in place. The pour will begin. Okay, so 10:15 and we have our first truck that's arrived. Only an hour late. This is normally the case, by the way. It's not Rayside in particular. All concrete companies, they always turn up a bit late. It's normally because they're obviously issuing out concrete first thing. I have actually seen this guy struggling to get the pump started as well. So hopefully he's just priming it or something like that, and it's not a problem. Yeah, here we go. Thank God for that. But please don't tell me you haven't checked that already. So what they're going to do, obviously, they're going to load the hopper. I'm going to actually film you guys seeing the hopper being filled up as well, so you can see what actually happens. A little bit off. Let me spin around. Okay, so he's right up against the curb, look. That's going to be difficult. That is definitely going to miss. Good luck. Come on, Putzmeister, whatever you call yourself. Putzmeister. Putzmeister. Okay, so Rayside have provided the concrete. But they've gone to these boys to provide the pump, which hopefully is going to start. Oh, God. Fingers crossed. Anyway, whilst they're doing that, let me take you down here. There's the upside down helicopter. That's what obviously will power float the finished floor. One of my hoses out. Uh-oh. 350 down the drain. Okay, and then down here, obviously, we've got the pipe going all the way down, up and over the wall, as you can see. So this pump and these pipes worked out 1950 Bayesian. Obviously, the rubber one going over the wall, down here into another rubber one, straight into the basement. So that's pretty much waiting to go. No, all good. So fingers crossed they can get the bloody pump started. I would have thought they'd tried that this morning. The last thing you want is concrete sitting here going off whilst a pump doesn't work. But that's a good thing about subbing the whole thing out rather than getting a pump sorted out and a concrete sorted out. If something goes wrong, at least you can hold the one company responsible for everything. Fingers crossed everything goes fine, obviously. But if it doesn't, then it's like it's a solution they put together, not you. So. So we are a little bit up against it, obviously, because it's 10 o'clock. It's only a small job. Sounds like I can hear, yeah, I'm seeing smoke. So that's started, thank God. A little bit of a relief. And where the job's concerned, I would have thought they'd have that poured in 2 hours, maybe a bit more. But yeah, so it's only 5.5 inches, 35-ish foot square. So yeah, we should have plenty of time to get that done. It's really just obviously making sure the power float is done right, so that's where they need the time. So the concrete needs to be going off gradually, so that gives them time to do that polish. My only concern at the moment is obviously the water pipes on the floor. Just need to make sure I'm down there making sure they understand that they are water pipes, not conduits. So we don't have any damage. As it is, standing on the conduit, you can break it. So we've got to make sure the conduits and the pipe work is protected. And obviously the pour of the concrete doesn't force the pipes to move too much. You can't attach them down. Obviously, you're literally just hoping that the concrete and the people just ensure the pipes remain where they are. But anyway, I'll leave you with that for now. I'll film in a minute when we start the pour coming through. I'm hearing the pump revving, so which means I'm sure they'll start loading it at some point. Wish me luck, everybody. Wish me luck. Thumbs up or thumbs down below. Okay, so we're going to start seeing the release any second. Sorry about the noise and the wind. This is where you're going to start getting concrete down here, so we need to get the hoses out ready just to make sure we get that off. Not this will be outside my house. And obviously concrete using my my jets. How you going, buddy? Nice new truck, some Rayside. It's a spin that head to try and get a little bit more water going through there. That's it. Nice to see someone trying to protect all their equipment as well, because concrete absolutely kills everything. Okay, so we'll start pouring in a minute. This one for you, Richard Burrow of England. You do watch the video, hope you're well, buddy. What would happen if I didn't have a hose? That's the question. What would happen if I didn't have a hose? Come on, let's get the first lot of concrete and we want to film it. I want to bore you guys to death. I'll check off for now and I'll log back in when they start doing what they've got to do. Okay, 10:38. Are we pouring yet? I can hear it, but surely we are. Sounds like they're banging the lines to try and get the concrete coming through. I can hear it. I can hear it. So it's now peeing down inside the basement and they're not around. Joey, keep an eye on the laser down there.
Huh? I hear you.
So I was talking to him.
Not going on, that's you, brother.
Okay, so it's starting to pour already. So they turn it on. But no one's downstairs watching the concrete coming out. Fruitcakes, absolute fruitcakes. Carnage. Anyway, we're going to have a look at what just come out. Okay. So yeah, they've got solid lines over here. So obviously I assume that's going to come out slower and then they'll push it over to the corners themselves. Sherman's taped down a little bit on here. I think that's going to hold, but better to have them held down than not at all. So, let's see how we get on. And she blows. A bit of water that came out first. Yeah, really sloppy. What the guys will do at some stage, they'll put the vibrator in there and they'll vibrate so the stones go to the bottom. So that when they actually do the power flow, they're well away from the stones themselves. Here we probably want a smaller stone in here. Because when they vibrate, the stones won't go anywhere. Careful moving it, Sherwin. You want to make sure it's on the line. If you're going to move it, make sure you line it. Water. Again, that'll be pushed away and it'll absorb anyway at some stage. This should pull around nicely. Starts that. Wait a second. Sorry about the delay. We had an overheated iPhone. So at the moment it's on charge as well. So the only concern I do have at the moment, obviously, is the hot and cold pipes are about to go under the concrete. As soon as they go under, you can't see them. So obviously we've got to be bloody careful with those. Maybe it would have been better to potentially put them in a sort of a 2-inch sleeve of some sort. Maybe. But anyway, and I'm also not seeing the laser line all the way around as well, so I'm just mindful at the moment we might be going a bit thick. So level-wise, we're not actually not seeing. Huh? Oh, is he doing it there, is he? We get both anyway. I mean, we should be seeing the laser line above. Yeah. Yeah. Let's not mess around with the old So now they're going to go left again. Probably connect this one back up again to get over to this side. Again. So yeah, I think we need to come down a little bit. It's not until the floor starts going down you actually realise the amount of height that you're losing. He knows his stuff. It's quite runny as well, isn't it? So it's like he's managed to get a level over there, but yeah, I think they've got to bring more this way probably, haven't they? Okay, I'll give the phone time to cool down. Okay, so we've got a bit more going on. I think we would have been better off doing what we said we were going to do, which was to concrete these down, because straight away, as soon as that pump came in, it pushed those pipes right over. Obviously, they're flat out doing what they want to do, so even when you bring it to attention, they can't just suddenly stop. But we managed to get the pump turned off and get them lifted up and over, but by that time, they'd already been very bowed. So fingers crossed they're okay. They're a bit proud over here. We need to get those down. But I think, yeah, what we should have done, my advice is sod the damp membrane. I'd have concreted each one of these down to ensure they couldn't move. Same with the conduits over here. We've got one hanging out the wall here, look, so God knows what we're going to do with that. Sorry about that. Okay, we're getting a little bit further over. One thing we had a problem with is all of these conduits, they just literally, because they're just laid on the floor, as soon as that concrete pours, it just pushes them. There's nothing you can do. These are all gone a bit crossed over now. We've now managed to lift out the hot and cold and put it back where it was. So fingers crossed it hasn't stressed any of the joints. This is all complete pile. We've managed to nail this board on there now to try and hold the conduits back, but a lot of them are up in the air now. So as you can see, got about 1.25 inches of concrete. If we can keep those pipes down, we might be able to cover them over, but they're still very, very high. So that is a bit of a pain. But yeah, as you can see, they're sort of starting to level out now around where they need to be, working out where the levels are versus where they need to reduce or increase. And then we've got another truck coming to fill in this last part. So yeah. Okay, we're 12:20. And the second instalment, we've had a few lorries already, by the way, but the second instalment has just turned up, so bloody big gap in between the two. And that's one thing that happens in the concrete world. Rather than having a lorry after lorry, so that you can actually keep on pouring and keeping the momentum going, the cold joints at bay, you always have a big delay. So what we're now, 12, sorry. It's about 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes. Now, we've got waterproof added to this one. So rather than going with BRC, what we decided to do is put waterproof in the concrete and also fibre in the concrete as well. So that, we saw it being poured earlier on, it was a lot more runny than it normally would be. That's the reason why. So it should hopefully stop us having a cold joint mark. We should be able to blend in the new concrete with the old concrete and hide that in. But yeah, it doesn't bloody help when there's such a delay in between. That normally means that someone's quoted you. So for instance, they quoted for 15 square metres of concrete. So they've sent 10. Then what they want to normally do is find out how much they need. Is it 6? Is it 4? And they want to adjust accordingly. So rather than just keep sending the trucks, they want to try and keep abreast of whether they need to supply more or less. Obviously, if they supply more, then they make more money. If they supply more but don't need it, they waste money. If they can supply less, then they still charge me for 15 and they probably make money as well. So, however, they should normally give a credit for what's needed. So yeah, at the moment, what's happened is they've been delaying because they've been trying to find out whether they need to send the 5 or not. I actually had the conversation this morning at 9 o'clock and said, send the 5 and don't delay, because I know what it's like. Anyway, we are where we are. So the guys are downstairs now doing what they've got to do. My main concern, as I said earlier on, was just the damage with the pipework being moved so aggressively. So I'm hoping we're going to get back on top of that. The pumps are making noises, which means we're pouring as we speak. So let me spin it around and I'll take you down and show you what's going on. Keep an eye on the conduits. It's the main problem at the moment. Yeah, it's still quite loose, so we should be okay. Fingers crossed it's going over. This is my main concern here, is just these conduits moving so much. we've had to put a block on those ones over there to keep them down because they keep trying to pop up as they're being pushed. They're coming over this way, and that's them pulling them over here and making them pop up out of the actual concrete. So fingers crossed that won't be an issue. The hot and cold seem to be okay, fingers crossed. You won't know until we fire them up and then we start getting a damp marking coming through the concrete, but I think we're okay, fingers crossed. We can remove obviously that beam at some stage, that rebar when we're done. That won't be needed. And I will see if I can fire the laser in here in a minute so you can actually see what they're doing. I think we actually get that in a second. Okay, that is a lot better. I feel a little bit human again. So, we're just waiting for the floor of the drawer. And by now the helicopter is upside down, should be downstairs, polishing away. Sounds like it is. Let's have a quick butcher's. See where we are with everything. It's still quite wet. Doing all the edges. This man polishing all in. So, not a bad mess compared to what we actually did. Obviously we can roll all this up now and pull this away. Very minor bits of concrete everywhere which we can clean up and hose down, no problems at all. We were very lucky to have this side return, obviously, access. Not sure that's meant to be down there. Yeah, so we can just literally roll this up now, bag this up and get rid. That's done its job. And obviously these guys, once that starts drawing a bit more, it's still a bit too wet. That should be a nice mirrored finish. Hopefully it'll be the best floor we've had done in the whole property. I'm going to talk to the guy that actually did it in a minute as well and ask him whether he can look at the roof for me. There might be some solutions that he might have in mind, but sometimes these guys just do what they do, you know. Just lay and finish concrete. They don't repair and stuff like that. But it can't hurt to ask, can it? That's what he says. It's his game, so he might even know someone else. But anyway, that's it for the day. I might come back and obviously show you the in fact, no, I will. It's not it for the day. I will literally, what's the time now? 10 to 3. I will actually, once that's been drawn a little bit more, I'll give you some, I'll give you an overview on what it looks like. And we'll stand in there and have a quick couple of pictures and stuff like that. And then we'll finish the day, obviously, on how that looks and how that feels. Other than that, I'll leave you with it for now. And I'll check on you a bit later on today when they finish doing what they're doing.